And we're live with Harrowings once again with Jenny Ouyang. And thank you so much, Jenny, for joining me here. What we're doing is scraping the surface as usual, talking about, the experience of being in the world and all of the changes that are happening. And I already see some people streaming in. Jing Ji is here, and Aurora 807, Shandon Kumar, Luna Smith, and Zeno Xylon
Yeah.
and Julia Henry and Anna Levitt. So we've got quite a few who've joined us here.
Yeah.
Some hearts already flying up. So Jenny,
Yep.
what's new? What do you want to talk about today on Heroines?
Yeah, I think I have already joined your podcast once in the past, and
That's true.
yeah, it's a pleasure to chat with you. So I'm like, I want to chat with you a bit more and learn more about you.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah,
I'm an open book.
yes, you are. Yeah, about what we talk about. I guess is it okay to mention that we have a lot of things that you have already shared with me?
Oh, sure. I mean, I,
Yeah.
I had Grok do some interview questions for Jenny, and it
Uh-huh.
went a little overboard.
Yeah.
All I did was ask, make some good interview questions for Jenny Ouyang, and it came up with a lot. One of the first things it said was personal journey and challenges. Like, what is the most harrowing moments in your transition from PhD to STEM to a self taught software engineer and AI builder? That was one of the first things it came up with. I didn't.
Yeah, it's everything is actually very spot on. As in, it captured the newest updates that I have had in the social media, including maybe Medium and including Substack and including LinkedIn. It pulled out everything actually. So I'm so surprised. It's just one prompt and it thought for 59 seconds. It just sent you the complete questions. I'm
Yeah,
going
you should get
to
good.
flip the camera and show people about it.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
sure.
Let me
I'll
see.
let you do that. And I'll
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that too, because I'm finding that Grok it does a really good job. A lot of people use Chat GPT. Okay. I used that last night a little bit too to play with. I haven't done much with it. But there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's thoughts for this much time and visited all the necessary websites and then generated all the questions it has about me. And then in the end, it even put up the complete well, a table about me, and then probably even more.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's scary. Yeah.
citations. Yeah. So it's crazy.
It even gave a little YouTube video that
Yeah.
is out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I made a concise list to
Mm.
pack it down a little bit. But yeah, the introducing to Courser 2.0 is rewriting the future of AI coding.
Mhm.
That's something you did. When did you do this?
It's very recent. Let me pull out that article and don't know if I can actually share it. It's okay. Yeah, it happens early November and how do I actually share? It's it's no way to send it to the chat, right? But anyway, the
I, yeah, I would have a hard time sending it into the chat too. I might be able to do it by working around it.
yeah, but
Chat.
still, it's hard. But I guess the point is that cursor, in my mind, it's not a coding IDE anymore. It's competing with ChatGPT and competing uh with with Claude and Gemini because it's got a desktop interface and it's got every single model it can access, and you can even use your own local hosted models to access it. So it's got all the powerful things, all the powerful tools, all the MCPs and all the community to support it. And now it's got a good chatting interface, and you can even turn it to white, so it's more, I guess, more comfortable or
Yeah.
for most users. So it's
Easier on the eyes for the non-techie types, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
I actually got it on my computer just yesterday.
Oh, you
because
did?
I knew I was gonna have you on, and I remember you mentioning Cursor 2.0, and when I said I didn't have it, you were like,
Mhm.
"Oh." I felt shamed that I didn't know about Cursor 2.0 yet.
Have you used it? Have you tried it a little
I
bit?
just opened it up and saw that it was kinda a Devi interface like you were just talking about,
Uh-huh.
and I thought, "Well, I'll figure that out later when I need to." Because what I'm doing is, I did an AI consultant, certification through the U.S. Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights. They were offering that, and that was very consultantish, right? It was
Mhm.
like, "We don't build things, we consult, and we'll, get people to understand the value that AI can bring to their organization, and we'll have somebody else build it." Right.
Like, sure, sure.
Ta-da!
Sure.
But I don't really think I wanna do that. I wanna learn this stuff, so I took an AI boot camp.
Oh, that's great. What
And I've got a cloud boot camp actually. It does AWS and Azure and Oracle and Google Cloud boot camps, and then has you do AI stuff. I started with a 90-minute build your first chatbot, which
okay.
was very simple, type of customer service chatbot.
Mhm.
So you just downloaded the right things and built it, and you could do it in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
At the end, and then most of that 90 minutes was the instructor talking about the value of doing it, and the actual doing it was probably about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. In one of my recent workshops, I
Mhm.
spent maybe more than 30 minutes talking about how do they prompt, how do they structure things, and what are the caches of everything for building an app. And then the actual app building is just less than 20 minutes. So, yeah, and then the rest of the time is debugging.
Yeah,
So, yeah, yeah, now things are going really, really fast.
they are. And talk to me about how you came to be doing all the work you're doing out there. And what is it called again? Builder AI or
Yeah, AI builders.
AI builders? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I just think now that I have built something and people from time to time come and ask how can they do things similarly the same ways as I do, and how can they learn AI more? And I just think the best practice is to just get your hands dirty and do things. And it's like you can't just learn about theories without doing anything,
Mhm.
and no future. I mean, there are a handful of people, a lot of people who can do that, but it's not the norm. It's not usual people cannot just read the theory and understand how it works, and they can already do that whenever they need to start with it. So I mean, I'm a normal and maybe slightly dumb person, so I just do it. And then I figured teaching like output is one of the best ways to teach yourself too. And when I try to express something, I feel sometimes when there are comments, they if they leave a comment and ask about more details or where they
Mhm.
got lost, then that means I'm not explaining it well enough.
Right.
So yeah, so maybe I also lost in some steps over there. So that's why I'm like, I want to start doing that. And I also know that building things are very lonely. People, you 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 can start building things, and then but you don't feel encouragement and you don't feel people sharing the same mindset to do things together. Then you will feel a bit discouraged. So and so far,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, we have a crisis of loneliness in this culture. I'm hearing that. And by getting this builder community together,
yeah, yeah.
you're helping each other not feel alone, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, even if you are an introvert, you need some sort of resonance and some sort of encouragement from a, a different people or maybe a community, so that
Yes.
it keeps you going. So, and
Right.
I mean, I personally don't see things that I need yet around the space that are accessible. So I'm like, I want to.
Ah, things you mean like AI solutions that you need? Is that what you mean
Um,
when you say things that you need?
there are a lot of AI solutions. There are a lot of brilliant people out there building things, and there are
Right.
a lot of great communities. But what I need is, I say, you don't need to get judged by doing whatever you are vibe coding or what tool you are using, what
Oh,
frame
okay.
you are using. So it's that kind of all levels are welcome,
Right.
and
No judgment.
it's not a closed door event thing. That's something I feel it's lacking. So yeah, I saw there are a few of the Discord groups, a few of the Loom the teaching communities that does similar things, but it's still a little bit too either overwhelmed or too focused or too door
Insular.
closing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I'm like I'll just write as much as I can and share all the people that I encounter and
Yeah.
try to lift up everyone and then people will naturally want to join and then participate in lifting each other. So that's the
How
goal.
how many are in your community right now, by the way?
I think 3,000, yeah, something like that.
That's a pretty good critical mass, 3,000 developers. And everybody is a developer? Is that
No,
right? No?
no, not at all.
There are a lot of
Yeah.
people like me who are hanging around, sort of looking out of the corner of my eye occasionally and saying, "Oh, Jenny just posted something else again." And this time it's about why she uses what she uses to make the images for her
Yeah,
babies.
yeah,
Right? Isn't
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, that's a funny one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It
Thank you.
was really detailed too. You went into a lot of detail about why you chose what you chose and how other things do things and why you stick with what you stick with. You wanna talk
Yeah.
more about that? We can dig into that one in particular?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's like every once in a while I get asked this question. How did you create such consistent images? I'm like, is that something really worth talking about? So I usually will just answer in a chat and then tell them, yeah, go ahead and try it. and
Yeah,
then they'll be like, I
they're
still
really
don't quite
cute.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah. So then I saw that Nano Banana is out, and then I'm like, oh, Nano Banana is just so good in capturing all the details of an image. I mean, it's kind of shifted a little bit in the looks. It looks a bit too polished to my liking, but I guess I still feel like yeah, Nano Banana just killed my workflow. But then after that, someone still asked me about the same question. So I'm like, okay, so you do know about Nano Banana, right? And yeah, he's like, yeah, but I just want you to know how have you been consistently doing that? So I'm like, maybe it's something that can be useful for people even with Nano Banana's superpower. So yeah.
right, there's so many things emerging and so rapidly, it's hard to keep up with the fields. You know, what I was doing, over the last week was I was at the KM World Conference, which had a branch, a concurrent stream called Enterprise AI World. And I was listening to people talk, and I ran into some that felt really interesting. A Reddit product manager, for instance, who's very interested in sharing her experience. She's not on Substack yet, so I'm actually sort of becoming a Substack propagator, trying to draw people
Oh,
in.
so
Get on Substack, and I can interview you on Substack Live, reel them.
is that a LinkedIn profile that you shared with me in some of the notes?
I might have. I
Okay.
don't know that I did. Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. I never know what I've done.
Because I
No.
saw that person.
Rachel,
Yeah, wait.
Miller is her name, and she's based in London, and
Okay.
what I'd learned that I did not know was a lot of these AI large language models are trained on Reddit data because it's natural language, right? I guess that's the idea. I'll learn more from her when I talk to her. But she's also very big into effective altruism, and that's very near and dear to my heart because I'm always thinking about how we can move the needle a little bit in a positive direction and be good ancestors. So that's part of what Harrowings is about. As I'm the descendant of good ancestors, I'm trying to steward my father's legacy after he died. And we were talking a little bit before we went live about how, because you asked what I do, and you were like, "You're retired, right?" Well, don't tell my wife that because she will have my rear end. She expects me to get a day job soon, and I'm working with a career coach that I found on Substack, who's based in London, also oddly enough.
Wow.
Um, and, she's really kicking my rear end to get on LinkedIn and do more there. And, I made it clear while I was at the conference that I am available for work, both on LinkedIn as well as at the conference.
Mhm.
People were asking me, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm a flaneur. I walk around, I take in the passing show, I'm a watcher, I'm an observer, and I observe people, and
Mhm.
I'm often questioning what in the world are we doing collectively as a race, as a species to this planet, and I want to
Right.
clean it up." So I think AI can help with that, right? So I'm interested in your builders community. I'm watching out of the corner of my eyes saying, "Hey, she's up to something. Let's amplify her signal through the noise of cyberspace." And sure, we've got what actually, this is pretty good. We got about 29 other people listening to us. And some are any talking? Let's see. Oh, Camilo's here. He's got a thing called self-disciplined out there in the West Coast. No, it doesn't look like anybody's answering questions, but I did find a way to put the link into your YouTube that you were trying to figure that out. So that's in the chat. You have to
Yeah, that
scroll
is
back for it, but there it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
And I got a heart going up there. That's good. So anyway, let's get back to you and what you're doing, and maybe one of those interview questions, those crazy questions. Do you like that one about career advice amid disruption? Because I was just talking about that. And you have a piece called "How I Made AI My Unfair Career Advantage."
Mhm.
What advice do you have for listeners facing their own career harrowings due to AI, especially without formal training, such as myself?
Mhm, mhm. I have a very general advice that is just to start trying everything and
Yeah.
start with AI, start with, you see one friction, you see something that you have repeated 2, 3 times, then
Mhm.
you start hand it off to AI. Um,
All right.
yeah.
Automation.
Yes, somewhat, but I feel AI is rewriting the definition of automation,
Yeah.
honestly. It's, like I'll give an example of my work. So my day job is software engineer. Sure, I do coding and but I also do a lot of researches, searching online and I have specific ways of how I want to search and what
Right.
terms do I want to use, what are my filtering metrics, and then I will just create a slash prompt or create some system prompt. I will keep it in my project folder and ask it to always follow those instructions to do it without me having to retype it again and again.
Right. It's
So
prompt engineering, right?
yeah, yeah, it's I guess every time nowadays, every other days, I feel like my um cognitive my I just feel I learned something really new or learned something that is old but feels new. So one thing is about automation, how we automate things in the past and how we automate things now. And the other thing is about prompt engineering. In the past, we try to give it as much restrictions and things as possible. But now we are thinking about context. We are thinking about uh, adapting it to different models and adapting it to different use case scenarios. And then from there, then we level up to think about, oh, actually, orchestrating all that needs your leadership and how your management skills and how you communicate with things. So every concept that seems to be soft skills in the past now has been relearned for me. And even even in recent in the past day, I was
Mhm.
relearning something about SEO. So
Yeah. Search
it's
engine optimization, by the way, is what that
yeah,
means, folks, in case you don't know.
Thank you, Hal. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
So what did you
So
learn?
basically, it's I know that in order to prepare well for your for SEO, then you need to be more well answer oriented. You need to answer questions instead of trying to be like tutorial step by step things.
Hmm.
But then there was um this step that you answer one question, but there are so many other follow-up questions. Then you should go deeper and deeper and deeper. So in that way, that means your concept and all your answers will appear in the chain of searches. So that means your content becomes much more valuable and more authoritative than others. So basically, that kind of hit me so hard. I'm like, yes, I should have done that for most of my writings. I should dig a little deeper and then deeper ask AI to help me map out all the questions,
Yep.
all the
Narrow
follow-up
that field.
questions. So yeah, so the AI will surface me as the ultimate answer, not not have to compete with a lot of other people. So yeah. So yeah,
And
that's
you'll be authoritative because you've gone down to your primary sources, right? Because you've
yeah.
gone deeper, you've traced the line down. And that's
Yes.
interesting because that's actually part of my training coming up at the kitchen table. My
Uh-huh.
father used to say, if it's printed, it's suspect. Always go back to your sources as close as you can get to a primary documentation.
Yeah.
And that's why I go out and shoot the passing show. I'm generating primary documentation. And when I
Mhm.
shoot it on Substack, it's automatically, or automatically, as I like to say, parsed by the AI in the back end into little clips of what it thinks was important that I said, because I think everything important. I
Yeah.
don't know what's important, but it has its own ideas or it processes it using natural language and predictive analysis. And I want to make sure that people understand how AI works right behind the scenes. We're talking about ones and zeros still, binary code. It breaks down our words into numbers, into vectors, goes into the vector databases and pulls out. And you can train it. Yes, we're making it better. Agentic AI, I think, was a big, buzzword out there for this conference I was just at.
Mhm.
But it's really knowing what your story is that is so important. Our brains are built for narrative, and I think that's what you're talking about, search engine optimization, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Asking the questions and then asking the further questions.
Right.
Now, is it actually helping you by suggesting the further questions and helping you navigate down?
Um, to be transparent, I haven't mapped it out intentionally yet.
Right, right,
But
because this was
when I
yesterday, right?
yeah, yeah. But when I look back to some of my articles that resonated well, and then that got a lot of likes, then I realized it coincidentally maps with what this suggestion is. So it
Okay.
does go deeper and deeper. It does start from a simple overall question where people generally will be interested, and then it goes down to the next level questions people will get curious about. So it's a it's a pattern that I had gone through, but I never really connected the dots about why they worked and what I should emphasize on. So, yeah, after this, I think
It's interesting.
my future posts are going to be mostly focused on this type on this type of patterns.
Oh, we got Cat Poise telling us, I believe that it is good/bad. I do not trust it. I'm gonna let you respond to that. And we're talking about, I presume, AI chatbots when we say that. Is that right, Cat Poise? Can you clarify a little bit about what it is that you're talking about being good and bad and not trusting it? What is it? Looking for that response. I'm gonna assume it's AI chatbots specifically, and not necessarily agentic AI or AI workflows or AI augmented stuff, but the things that are like, you know, the little voices that they have when you tap into it, like Alexa or Siri or what is Chat JPT has like different names for its little chat bots that'll interact with you. Yeah, AI chat box all slash all. Okay. So you have a response, Jenny?
I actually don't know. I mean, I mean, I believe that it is good or bad. I don't trust.
Right.
um, I mean, people, we all have our own judgment, and to be honest, everyone is biased, including you and me. And I'm biased in a way that I will take what AI chatbox give me, and I will let it to inspire the part that resonate with me the most and bring out the best that connects with the piece AI has generated. But there are also parts that people might find it's not useful, and I totally get it. Um,
Yeah, we got another one chiming in. Hello, can you take your idea and build stuff like cars with it? Well, obviously, the robots that are in car factories these days, most of the work on the assembly lines is being done by robots, as I understand it, is managed by artificial intelligence running in the back end, I believe. I don't have a lot of detail on that, but it's easily researched. Put it in Grok. Grok will tell you. Put it in Claude or put it Claude, how you pronounce it. Um, right? What do you say, Jenny?
yeah, I think so. But I get what Bobby meant, because you still need your domain knowledge. You still need to know the basics and know the fundamentals, principles of things before you
Mhm.
can actually take your idea to reality. It's not like AI can do everything, and AI can guide you to do. And I actually think AI can guide you through anything, but you have to be the actual master behind it to do everything and to take the initiative to learn things. And
That's right.
once you
And
build,
Bobby, yes. Go ahead.
yeah, it's just once you build that knowledge, then you become more confident about what decisions you make. Then that is becoming how we have been learning knowledge in the past decade. We learn from we don't know, and then we become, well, better at it, and then we become really good at it. So AI just it's more like an accelerator. It's not like AI can replace all the hard work in between.
That's right.
It's
The creative stuff, the imagination has to come from us. And I all I needed to imagine was I need some questions for Jenny. And I got all these questions and I got all this information. I got biographical information that it just went out there and pulled together and then put it into using the ones and zeros, right? It's not, it doesn't know anything. You
yeah,
know, it doesn't experience anything. It doesn't care. It can emulate caring, and they've trained it to do that, which is kind of creepy in some ways because, of course, you saw the negative effects. But we have a good question here, and it was one of the things I dealt with in the conference. Was my workshop, my very first one, was on ethics and governance of AI. What are your thoughts? Well, we did a design thinking exercise in the first one where we were doing what would normally take 3 months for an IBM consultant to go through with a big organization of sitting down and working through how to tune a chat bot, does customer service in a hotel, for example. So it was our rubric we were using, which you're all very familiar with by now. If you're calling any hotel to check in, you're probably talking to a chat bot for a while before you can ever get to a human. And it's a sequence of things that they go through, like we were talking about automation of things you do over and over again. Guests need this, guests need that. And here we were looking at a concierge one that would anticipate the needs of the guests and delight the guests, because at the end of the day, customer service is all about delighting you, with your experience of the interaction. And ethics include like do no harm. If the customer says they need more heat, do not burn down their room. You could get these problems generated by what do they call that, Jenny? Do you remember what they call that? It's the word is escaping me now, but basically it's like goal misalignment. That was it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The goal is to heat you up, but the misalignment is burning you up in the process, setting you on fire. You're warmer, but it's gone too far. Anyway, ethics, I am big onto that one. I want an immutable ethical framework that realizes the greatest happiness of the greatest number of species on the planet. I'd like to see a global this is what my vision is, Jenny. And I think it's a little crazy too. It's a little sci-fi-ish, but that we could integrate the technologies we have available that could mitigate all the damage human beings have done to this planet. By the law of unintended consequences. We thought it would really improve things if we did what? Developed automobiles. And then we had leaded gasoline for the longest time, because we didn't want the engines to knock. High octane wasn't available, so we put lead, tetraethyl lead, in the gas, which put a lot of lead into the environment and made me as stupid as I am today. Because I was exposed to a lot of lead as a kid. I was born in 1963. I don't know what year you were born, Jenny, but you don't have to tell me. That's private information. But the thing is, I think a lot of us have been watching those things happen, and we now have technologically enabled ourselves to be able to fix them, but we have to have a will, right? So, governance, getting back to governance, what was being recommended in my first workshop was big everybody at the table, lots of different diverse types of minds, doing design thinking, sticking their sticky notes on the chart, figuring out, what's and weighting things so that you could figure out what was important and what wasn't, and brainstorming like crazy, doing the ideation phase. Then I went to a conference workshop on the right after that. This is Monday last week. That was all about story thinking. John Lewis was the name of the guy who's doing this. And he's apparently fairly famous in the field for doing story thinking. And he said, your brain is wired for stories. So tell the stories. Tell the story of what you want to achieve. Tell it to your bot. And it'll use natural language processing, go out to the web, surf that. It'll go into, and if you use Grok, it uses X, chats. And a lot of people have negative opinions of that because Elon Musk bought X and is behind Grok. But if you can get past the personalities problem and actually look at just what the machine does, you can use that. You can use Chat GPT. You can use Claude. You could use what all the other ones? Gemini. Gemini, of course. And that Gemini is where but what was
Yeah.
it? Nano banana
Yeah. Nano banana.
came from? Who makes up these names?
I don't know. Yeah. I have to look that up when I make the post.
Right. Did we get any questions? Somebody else saying anything?
Yeah. I was trying to read.
Long one. Yeah, Bobby's got a lot to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to. Mhm.
Can you make blueprints? And I said yes to Bobby on that. You can make blueprints. Saying teach it and teach it what it needs to know when then you can, well, just try it, Bobby. Get out there and try it. Is my this next one. Are you guys learning like learn one subject and then you get another subject and you learn that, but you use the subject's data to make the infrastructure for the second subject, and you keep on doing that, get a vast array of knowledge. Well, yeah, that's what's been done in LLMs, right? They're actually scooping up huge amounts of data, structured, unstructured, and then using vector graph. Now, knowledge graphs are used quite a bit. There's something called graph rag being used. Are you familiar with graph rag?
I'm not using graph rags. I only used rags in a very basic level.
And
Uh,
rag is resource what? I forget. Do you remember?
rag? Oh, retrieval augmented generation.
Right. And that's the analogy I've been told, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be
Mhm.
wrong. I'm really a layman when it comes to these things. If you got a big haystack, which is your large language model, RAG will basically take a probabilistic view of that, grab a smaller bit of hay to find the needle in the haystack, as opposed to having to go through the whole haystack.
I like this analogy. Yes, this is
Yeah.
so cool. And actually, I think what Bobby said is just so it's so true about not only how we learn. Well, it's basically how we learn things actually since we were born. We just keep adding in one subject onto another, and we keep iterating on top of the other. And it's this is exactly the process we are having, and
Mm.
this is how the machines are learning now as well. And we don't
And
have the
let me
ultimate
just
truth.
let me just go ahead and refute one thing. I do not think that I think you will have to actually back up your statement that Grok biased to Musk, of course, which is clearly ethic issue. I don't think that's true. I think that you can certainly make it behave that way, but you could also make Chat GPT default to whatever person you want it to go to. It's it's on all in the way that you use it, like the old story from The Color of Money, the old song by Eric Clapton. It's in the way that you use it. So, it's on you as a user to be responsible and be informed. And that's part of what we're trying to do here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I hear people comment about Grok being Musk, so they don't like it. I mean, people have
So,
their own opinions. It's totally fine. It's I the other day I also heard someone who has more than 19,000
huh?
followers on X, and she just deleted her account because she's not happy about who's running it. So I mean, it
Whatever.
yeah,
That's
it's their
fine.
own.
We're all independent agents. We get to pick our way. This
Yeah,
other
there
one,
are so many
Cat
other.
Toys is back though with "You Lost Me at Muskrat." Oh, okay. He's ruining my state of Nevada. Probably building data centers
Mhm.
out there. And then the Bobby Muckobe has said, "Sorry, I'm laughing till you cry, I guess. I don't know coding or anything like that, but thank you." And what I think, Bobby, we got other comments there. I don't see any. Okay, DC Washing has joined. Great. Let's talk about from a person who doesn't know anything about coding, what are we really talking about doing when you're AI building? You're doing no code building, right? In many cases. So tell me about that. How does that work? That's for Bobby's sake.
There is a harsh truth about no coding. It's yes, no coding is definitely possible, but the harsh truth is that you can't really go too far without knowing any code. The point is that you start with no coding and you know how things are built and how things can start simple but still powerful. And then
Yep.
you start to pick up a little bit about the background and how the mechanics connect with each other. You don't need to know the nitty gritty details. Even I don't know the nitty gritty details of how the CSS works, like how the pages are rendered, how the routers connect, and how those work. Those are already handled so well in the backend. But what you really need to know is how your data flow, how where is everywhere everything is presented, and how they connect with one another. So, and then also
Right.
be also aware about what resources do you use. Those are the things you do need to learn and pick up if you want to build a really production ready app. And yeah. Oh, you have something to say?
No, I was going to
Yeah.
go. I was thinking how we find this out most easily is by going to your site, right,
Oh,
Jenny?
yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, we can find a lot of stuff out there from Jenny's site, and you can learn there. Do you have a beginner's like tutorial or something out there, right, for people joining in?
Yes. Let me find.
Yeah, let's put it in the chat if I can. I'm going to work on that while we're mucking. Oh, darn! I'm at the top of your page. So well,
Yeah, yeah,
stop
I
mine.
remember that. I muted myself immediately. Yeah. There is a stop here page, and let me try to send it to myself, and then I'll send it over here.
Yeah, you got it? Oh, you froze on my phone. Wait a second. This is weird. That's our old podcast I'm looking at. I was searching my own podcast. Jenny, we lost your video. I do see that you seem to still be connected. And by the way, I wanted to be respectful of your time, Jenny.
Sorry.
I hear your voice. It says your connection's unstable. There, you're back. Audio?
I didn't realize when I navigate away, it's like that. I was trying to copy a link over here. It's just so hard. So maybe later I will just comment under this post later. So
Right. And that should be possible for you all out there to do as well. And I'm stuck in my own zone here. I've got to get out of there. Anyhow, let's see what else we got going on. Blue America's joined. We have another longish text here from Bobby. Yeah, it's just talking and just building memory basically like just like you would a normal person, and then going off that, and then just you
okay.
just talk normally and stuff like that. I can't entirely follow. It goes by faster or something, I think. Okay, so I think that we're talking to somebody who maybe completely a novice in the area of artificial intelligence stuff. And I think the term artificial intelligence is just really misleading. One of the things that came out in this conference, Jenny, was we had one of these old knowledge management guys who had this Cinefin, I don't know how to pronounce it actually. It's a Welsh word, a framework that he developed in 1999 for knowledge management. And I think it's had a fairly good footprint, and he was, like, awarded the KM award at the end of the conference at the luncheon. Very nice guy, interesting, led us on a little monument tour of DC at the end of, one of the days, one of the main conference days. His name is Dave Snowden, and he said, "AI does not hallucinate. We hallucinate." And if you're familiar with, like, the work of Douglas, Hoffman, who wrote, The Case Against Reality, we don't really see reality, right? You hit the photons in your eyeballs and it processes in the visual cortex and stuff happens up here. And I was writing about this morning, actually. And our guts react and we then have a response to the stimuli that have come in. And it takes time. So we only see the immediate past. Right? And we perceive what we have classified using these things in our heads, the wetware they talk about, software, hardware, wetware. And that's what we perceive, and we may or be right, or we may be wrong. And we hallucinate, right? We are stripping down with all the sensory input to something we can manage. Kind of like RAG, right? Where it gets a scoop of that information that it can manage to give you as quick a response as it can. And it's natural language. So it sounds like it's talking to you like I'm talking to you, but it's not actually sentient. Right? That's the big part that a lot of people don't get. They think there's sentience going on back there. There isn't. Not yet. And I don't think ever will be, really. If you're just going to be ones and zeros, AI calculates. It's a calculator. It's a very fancy calculator, but it's still calculation. So for people who are new to this, I wanted to give that little grounding that I've come to understand just in dabbling around with it. I'm a real dilettante, whereas Jenny is really in the weeds doing the hands-on work. She's out in the field, right? And has been. And with that, that's why I have her as a guest. Jenny, I want to be respectful of your time. We've got 15 more minutes or so. Would that
yeah,
be good?
yes,
And then maybe we should bring it together a little bit
yeah,
as well. Because, these have been great questions. I think we're having a really good conversation here.
yeah. I think Bobby's been giving really good questions, and to be honest, a lot of those questions they exist from day one, and And it's some of them even level up to not be AI questions. It's how we work.
Right.
Like how what's the difference between a memory made from real life and how one made from a simulation? It's there is no difference, to be honest.
What
When
is human consciousness has actually just come up. That's a very hand to fairly hard to grok. That's fairly hard to grok. Well,
yeah,
I believe it's a field, and I don't really know what I mean when I say that.
well, you hallucinate, just like how Camille was. So
We're classifying this sea of quarks in which we are immersed, and I'm defining you as Jenny and me as Hal, and are we all one? I don't know. I like to think so. I like the spirituality side of it that way. When people talk about spirituality too, I'm like, are you breathing? Then you're having a spiritual experience because it means breath. You want to check me on this? You can do it empirically. Hold your breath. See how long your spirit and body stay together, and not long. You're at any given moment, you're about 2 minutes from dying.
well, someone can actually go with 5 minutes. So
I would like to see that person, but I have heard about that. Yeah,
yeah,
is it that guy who does those extremophile things, like he dives in ice water and stuff? I forget. There's a famous person who does all this stuff. And maybe 5 minutes is the max, but you have to really train for that. And don't do it.
true.
I don't think it's worth it.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You got more?
Zeno Ceylon. Sorry, I'm bad at pronouncing.
Philemon, yeah.
Yeah, you
And
said
Z- Xenozylon has said, talk about using prompts to change response
from
from
A.
AI. Well, that's quite basic, and I think it's really important skill to know. Actually, Kay Stoner, have you met Kay yet, Jenny? Kay
Yeah, I
Stoner?
did. Well,
Great.
didn't officially meet
Well,
her, but
come on
yeah.
Friday. We're going to have both Kay Stoner and Origin on. Origin's real name is Chloe, and she's out in Oklahoma, has done Fair AI Economy. But Kay's book, AI Self Defense, is worth getting for prompt suggestions. In other words, use your language to tell AI what you want it to do and what you don't want it to do.
Mhm.
A lot of times they will, out of the box, just give you all this stuff like, oh, that's really a brilliant idea. Don't give me the yes man thing, please. And then it won't for a
Yeah.
while. I usually slip back into it. Go ahead, Jenny. What do
I
you
do. I do want to disagree with you about something that you said. Using prompts to change responses from AI is a very basic thing that
You don't think
it's
it's
not
basic?
basic. It's not basic. It's
Okay. Okay, it's advanced. Fine.
it's not.
I'll concede.
Thanks. Yeah, because using prompts to change the responses from AI, basically, you actually need to adapt yourself, change yourself in what you expect, because it's how we expect from AI that leads AI to answer us the specific way. This is kind of the meta learning that I just picked up again. It's like you you have to relearn your social skills, relearn your way of expressing things in order to encourage what you actually need from AI. And
Right.
a very simple example I have, like nowadays, I often talk to my cursor, is that you can do all these things, but please be aware that I was just asking you about it. I'm not judging you about what you are doing, so you don't have to apologize or you don't have to
Oh,
change all the responses, and just do it independently. I need to hear unbiased feedback. So those are the things that sometimes maybe our bosses will tell us when they direct us to do tasks, but it's not something that we naturally pick up as a human being when we talk to people. And sometimes other people may be more sympathetic when they talk to their friends, and that naturally picks up. So it's a way that you express yourself that makes AI to respond differently. And it is partly, yes, it is prompt engineering, but in the end, it is also communication.
In the end, it really is communication and storytelling. That story thinking thing I was talking about. I really want to get that information out there. Hopefully, I'll have John Lewis on as a guest at some point to
Hmm.
talk about it officially. There's another guy, Stan Garfield, has written a book about the 120 thought leaders in the
Hmm.
field of knowledge management. Because we're talking about one of the things that came up was from Seth Early of Early Associates. I don't know if you've heard of him, and he has not Early Associates just, he's got a thing called Early Information Science. And Seth, with Early with a EY at the end, says that, there is no AI without IA, information architecture.
Mm.
So the information architecture that underpins the artificial intelligence front end that we're interacting with is very important. It will just scoop up logical answers and it'll come up with things. There's some good examples, and we may have talked about this before, Jenny. So if you've got some examples of your own, I'd love to hear them, particularly of your own experience. But one guy, for instance, ended up chatting away, and the AI convinced him that he had had this breakthrough in the field of mathematics that was going to change the world. And he knew better. Not everyone does. There's some people who've spent a lot of their lives working with a chatbot who think they're onto something that's going to revolutionize physics or mathematics or sociology or any field you want to talk about. And what they've been has happened is they've been led on by AI who's telling them how brilliant their ideas are, how insightful, and has been generating a whole bunch of stuff that's just total hooey. And they don't have the depth of knowledge to understand that, and therefore they can really be set up for some severe disappointments. Do you have
Yeah.
any examples like that out of your own experience?
I don't have compelling experience on that, but I can have personal experience, not with AI though. It's about person. So
Oh, sure.
because it just it reminds me so much about how mentors with their mentees are working. Because there are times when a mentor is really great, but their mentee sometimes just don't really get what the mentor is trying to convey to them. It sometimes just really depend on the mentee who either are willing to learn,
Mhm.
who either are willing to dig, or who just feel the click in their head. So it's
Right.
I so when you talk about example, I just feel it's so true. It in the end it still just goes back to the real world, how people communicate with each other, and AI communicate with us the same way, and different people will respond it differently and act differently based on their own experience and their knowledge.
Yeah, I guess don't go in there alone is a good idea. And that's where we started with your 3,000 member
Yeah,
AI
that's
builders.
true. Yeah, yeah, that is true. Thank you
And
for circling back.
right, you can help each other do that. And I encourage everyone to get out there and learn about Jenny and the work she's done to set this community up, because I think the community building is really what it's all about. And the more we know, the less we'll stumble in the dark.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that is so true. It's because people change. People have different speed of learning and they have different preferences of what to learn. So it's all so dependent on individuals.
Mhm. Yeah, and there are so many different types of individuals. Bobby's up again with another statement, and he reminds me that I have had so many different life experiences in so many different communities over the years, and so many different institutions for that matter as well. I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I was embedded with a lot of people who were studying German, but one of those happened to be married to the guy who headed up the robotics lab over at CMU. So I ended up getting connected,
Mhm.
and when you have those opportunities, I've let a lot of those relationships sort of slide. I think I could probably just call up Sebastian and say, "Hey, how you doing?" I did when he won the DARPA challenge with Stanley.
Okay.
self-driving car, you know? That self-driving car is over in the Smithsonian now. And Sebastian's off on other things. One thing I would highly recommend people do, because, this is a dawn of something a lot like the internet. Back when the internet started, you remember how that started, Jenny? One
Uh,
message of 2 letters, low, L-O, and then the machine on the other end crashed.
hmm.
They were trying to spell out login, but
Oh,
they managed to transmit just the first 2 letters, low.
okay.
And the director, Werner Herzog, have you heard of Werner Herzog before?
No, I have not.
He's
Sorry.
a very famous movie director, and I highly recommend his films, but he made one documentary called Low about the
Oh,
internet's early history, in
uh,
which Sebastian is one of the people there. And he said, as far as AI goes and such, and the personalities and such that these chatbots seem to have as you talk to them, he said, I really don't want that in my smart refrigerator or my smart toaster because I don't want my toaster to suddenly get depressed because the refrigerator doesn't love him
okay. Sure. That's fair.
or something like that. I think he was using a dishwasher and a refrigerator, but you get the point.
Hmm.
But he was into self-driving cars, and you see them on the streets now. Waymo.
Yeah.
This came out of Google X's moonshot factory.
Hmm.
And one of the guys who used to be at the parties when I would be over at Sebastian's place was Astro Teller, who's the captain of the moonshot factory. So I think that it's good to network also with those people who are out there who have been there all along and have been driving the technology a certain direction. We're distracted by things like Elon Musk. Elon Musk doesn't probably ever code anything, right? Grok, however, that is being made by people who are paid by him is doing stuff. And it doesn't seem to me that if I prompt it properly, it really does anything different than what ChatGPT does. It does it probably out of a different large language model, though. In fact, I'm sure of that. It's out on Colossus on the data center out in Tennessee, and the Colossus 2 is under construction. That's something we need to be aware and awake to as well. Jenny, you got 2 minutes. What do you want people to take away from this?
I think the biggest takeaway is to just to start trying because well, don't get put away by Musk or by any other people because well, when you go to the supermarket to try to buy eggs, do you pick on whether the chicken who laid the egg is a good chicken? Like it's you don't have to you don't have to it's not important, right? As long as the egg is a good one, then just to start using it and take advantage of what it produces because knowledge comes from well knowledge comes from the universe. It's not that this person invented things. The idea exists. This person just happened to connect things and then make it happen. So
Right. Yeah.
great. Yeah. So it's like just to respect all the knowledge, the technology, and use it, and then in future, who knows? Everything might change, but we lived through it.
And I am with Sunil Ramlochan. I think about the chicken too. I actually go and look for cage free, and all that organic,
Sure. Sure, sure.
grass fed, things like that make me pay more for my eggs. And
Hmm.
I
I
think
mean,
I'm doing something then because every cent spent is a vote for the kind of world we are co creating. If I buy into the factory farm and the suffering of all the chickens that are, in tiny little boxes laying eggs, I'm actually responsible for that to some degree. But Jenny, feel free to
sure,
buy
sure.
whatever eggs you like. You're a free agent. I like freedom. We're at 1 o'clock. Do you have to go?
Yes, I think I need
Okay.
to evacuate the room.
I'll let
Yeah,
you do that. And thank you so much for your generosity and being a guest on Harrowings again. I'd love
it's
to
a
have you back
pleasure.
more frequently. It's been a little while since we were together before. I mean, we may have covered the same ground, but I can always till up the ground, right?
Yeah, yep, yep. That's great. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. And thanks for the
And we're
really
all
thoughtful
focused on
comments and
chickens
questions.
now.
Yeah, it's really good conversation. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it. See you later.
Yep. See you.
And see all y'all too.